Hey internet, don't mind the mess, and welcome back to Segment Next. My name is James Kukon, and this peeled potato of a video is the history of Ubisoft downgrades from Watch Dogs to Division, all games analyzed. Basically, this video is going to involve minimal commentary, as right now I'm going to give you the tools to right out see the bullshit that's been going on. I've labeled the footage from each game as either coming from E3 or from the retail version of the game. Notice how less detailed, how less carefully crafted, how just generally mediocre the normal versions of the games look in comparison to their E3 compadres. Do with this information what you will, write letters of complaint, hold public forums, riot partially because you believe this issue is worth rioting for, but also because many people in your demographic just want to use the ensuing chaos as a smokescreen to loot local businesses and set buildings on fire and such, whatever you feel comfortable with. Well, alright, let's go. It's honestly amazing the general lack of detail that's gone into the retail versions of these games. I mean, I know obviously for E3 they have to make things all nice and pretty, and they have to make them polished looking so that it entices people to buy the game. It's like putting out some kind of carrot in front of a horse and getting that horse to bite on the carrot. I don't know. It's almost it really is kind of false advertising a way to see this happen. To see these games is built up to be so polished in E3, and then when you're playing them at home, it looks almost nothing like it. And of course, I mean, it would be one thing if this was coming from a smaller developer, someone who didn't have as many resources, as much experience in the gaming world. They would have to do more, and they'd have to put more effort into their demonstration and to get people to come and buy the game. And then it'd be okay a little bit if they're if like an indie developer's game isn't the most polished thing, doesn't look as nice, doesn't run as well, because you just kind of expect that. But this is Ubisoft is a major developer with shit like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy, now The Division, and things like that. You'd think that if they're putting all this effort into constructing these massive games with relatively complex styles of play, relatively complex worlds in terms of player to world interaction, you'd think that they'd fucking try to make it look nice, and that they'd try to at least have less of this giant disparity between the E3 demonstration and the retail game. And it's not like other developers aren't guilty of this. I'm sure that they are. Of course, this video is just focusing on Ubisoft, but I'm sure that most of the major developers, if not all of them, and like I said, probably some of the smaller ones, are guilty of this kind of just polishing stuff up for the demonstrations and making it look nice, just so people, like I said, chomp on that metaphorical carrot, so to speak, and so that they flock to the stores to buy the game. And it takes them a while to realize that the game is not at all what it looked like at E3, which is maybe one of the reasons now people are becoming less and less satisfied with games, because they get this, not only this big mental picture from all the hype that goes into this like hurricane of hype, this tropical storm of hype almost that builds and swells as a game nears release. But they're also getting their hopes up because the developers are giving them these games that look fantastic, quite frankly, at E3. And the part they leave out is that they have the proper equipment to make these games look right. They're running on probably fucking overclocked versions of consoles, or it's pre-rendered, shit like that. And the materials that they're using to present these at E3, obviously not at all the materials that the normal consumer has at home, which sucks. And that'll probably change over time. Technology is advancing. It's getting better bit by bit. This most recent console generation kind of a letdown, quite frankly. But, you give a little to get a little and so forth. I mean, I wouldn't call the hundreds of dollars people spent on the consoles a little, but, hopefully that's inching us forward closer to something better. Anyway, my point is that it's almost a highway robbery what these people are doing in terms of. It kind of reminds me of like the snake oil salesman, from like old west stories. The guy who comes into town is like, I have this magical elixir that'll make everything you do look amazing, and all the all the people are like, "Oh wow, are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, just buy it for $59.99." And they're all like, "Oh man, well, it looks good when he does it, so it's probably gonna look good when I do it, right?" They take the lotion home and they do it, and they're like, "Wow, I." What the fuck is this? This doesn't look at anything like it. But of course, by the time they go to fucking riot, lynch him, as they would probably do in the Old West, or just shoot him, he's already gone. And that's what the developers kind of do, because it's not like you can go to GameStop and make a profit. You can't even break even, because they cheat you so much out, in GameStop and things like that, which is also fucking ridiculous, but a whole nother issue. Anyway, I hope this problem gets resolved soon. I don't know. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I want it to be fixed now. Yeah, because I don't have any other solutions to the problem other than just the technology either needs to increase or the developers just need to be more truthful and outright. Of course, they put those little disclaimers at the bottom, during E3 presentations, like, "Oh, this is pre-rendered footage. Oh, this was captured earlier. Blah 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 blah." And like I said before, they're running it on technology that's way more powerful than what we have in our homes right now, to play these games on. But I guess the one solution will be that developers are just more open and, hey, saying stuff like, "Hey, it's not going to look like this when you take it home, you guys. It'll be, hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully it'll be fun, but it's not going to look this good." Either that, or they just give us a more realistic version of the game. No matter, it doesn't really matter if a game is good. People will buy it and they will play it no matter what. I mean, people get stingy and stodgy about graphics nowadays. And I mean, yeah, of course, if you're playing a game in 2016, you want it to look decent. But if it's a fun game, the gameplay and just the general good time that you're having should override any, I don't know, minor, graphics. The quality of graphics looks a little minor as long as you're having fun. People still play old school games to this day because they're fun to play. And it's the graphics become kind of like part of the charm of the game, whether they're good or not, because eventually everything's gonna look like shit. Um, that's pretty fucking dark, but yeah. Anyway, I really hope that this video kind of sheds some light. I'm not at all calling in this to have some kind of like internet mob rise up. I don't even know if I don't have that power. I don't think, but just in case, I don't want that to happen. I don't want any outrage. I don't want any people fucking going on blogs or Reddit or wherever the fuck you're gonna go, and shouting like, "Ah, Ubisoft is fucking me over. Let's fucking crucify them." I mean, not that you would crucify. I don't know. Maybe you would. I don't know you guys personally, or girls personally. Um, but I guess I'm just, like any video, I'm putting this out for both information and entertainment. I hope you found it both of those things, and do with this information what you will. Use it responsibly. And thank you for tuning in. I'll see you later.